Your femur bone is your upper thigh bone. Your upper thigh bone, which is the largest bone in your body. Femur. The parts of the femur are as follows. Here you have the head of the femur. The head of the femur. Continuing down, remember the head is always medial. So head of femur. Here you have your greater trochanter. Greater trochanter. Here on this side you have your lesser trochanter. Head of femur, greater trochanter, lesser trochanter. The head is always medial, so follow the head down. If you follow the head down, you have your medial epicondyle. If this is your medial epicondyle, then this has to be your lateral epicondyle. Now let's take a look at the parts of the femur close. So here we're looking at the anterior aspect of the femur. Parts of the most proximal portion of the femur. Proximal means closest towards a point of attachment to the body. Head of femur. Greater trochanter. Greater trochanter. Greater trochanter. This little one, lesser trochanter. Greater trochanter. Lesser trochanter. Head of femur. Name this part, be specific. Head of femur. What articulates with this part? Be specific. The acetabulum of your pelvic girdle. Name this part. Head of femur. What articulates here? Acetabulum. Greater trochanter. Lesser trochanter. Remember, head is always medial. Follow it all the way down, and what do you get? Your medial epicondyle. Epi means on top. Medial epicondyle. This is medial. This is your lateral epicondyle. So medial epicondyle, all this portion, medial epicondyle, lateral epicondyle. This smooth surface here is for the attachment of your kneecap, which we call the patella. The patella bone sits here, which is we know as our kneecap. Lateral epicondyle, medial epicondyle, patellar surface. So what articulates with this bone proximally? The acetabulum of the pelvic girdle. What articulates with this bone distally down, furthest point away from the point of attachment to the body, would only be your tibia. The fibula does not touch your femur. The only bone that articulates with your femur distally is your tibia. What articulates with this bone anteriorly to the front? Your kneecap, your patella. Let's take a look at the posterior aspect of your femur. So let's turn it around. The posterior aspect of the femur. You have the head of the femur, the greater trochanter, the lesser trochanter. Remember, head is always medial, so follow the head down. You have your medial epicondyle and your lateral epicondyle. Now let's take a look at the anterior aspect. Anterior has the smooth surface. Posterior has this little indentation here. So now how do you tell a right bone from the left bone? First you tell anterior, which has the smooth surface. The posterior has the indentation. So the anterior portion of the femur, we're going to look up now. You know that the head of the femur always has to point in towards the body so that it can connect to the acetabulum. So we know if this is the middle, this can only be on the left side of your body.